say comes across as reading a statement. I gotta do it this way. Much of what I'm going to talk to you guys about still causes me to cry unless I plan it out ahead of time. What I'm sharing here is my story. My #MenToo story, but it even goes beyond that now. My #humanity story. Having gotten that out of the way, here's where we go. I was born in Kansas City, Kansas, spent most of my childhood in and around the Kansas City, Missouri area. This is something that you need to understand. The reason you need to understand that is much of what I'm about to tell you, in fact, everything that I'm about to tell you about my childhood, it happened in and around Kansas City, Missouri. Also, you'll hear me use terms like birth father, birth mother, birth parents, those kind of terms as time goes on, whether it be here or in other videos. This is to differentiate between my parents, the people who adopted me that I love dearly and I owe so much to, and to those responsible for my existence on this planet here. And it's those people that I'm going to be addressing some things with, starting with this video. My earliest memories of abuse started at the age of 4. And I say that because I remember age of 4, a lot of these things happening. I don't have any memories of anything before then. That's not to say it did or did not happen. It's just to say that's the earliest I remember. During this time, my birth father was sexually molesting me himself. I call it grooming what he did to me at that time because of what he did later on, which I'll get to in a moment. Somewhere in there, he started having me perform sex acts on his friends. Then it progressed to, as I call it, being pimped out to anyone who could afford his fee for my services. I'm attempting to give you some basis for understanding before I go into more detail here. And the blessing in all of this is I was finally taken away from my birth parents at the age of 8. The things I was forced to do were oral sex, receive anal sex, and be on video and film performing or receiving these same acts on children. And there's more that was involved. It's just, I don't know the best way to tell you without sounding very offensive, which is the last thing that I want to do. Many of you know these things, and that's okay. If you watch this video and you know my story, you know what I've said on Twitter, that's okay. Remember, I love you, but this one's not for you. This one's for the men and women still hiding and not speaking on what they have suffered. Gentlemen, ladies, if you see this and you've been a victim of sex trafficking, sexual abuse, rape, sexual harassment, or any combination therein, please, I need you to speak out. You need you to speak out. You have a voice. You deserve to be heard. It's time to speak out. Take back your strength. Take back your life. And be the person you know you want to be. And in that, I want you to remember, we will listen to you. You will be believed. But most importantly, you are loved. You are valued. You are cared for. Lastly, in light of the accusations against Weinstein, LouisCK, Judge Rory Moore, and any others that come out between this recording and your viewing, I encourage you to stand with the accusers unless there is real and credible evidence that they lied. And I'm not saying, oh, look at the timing, look at how close to the election, like a lot of people are saying in Judge Rory Moore's case. Look at the facts of the case. If it passes the smell test, unless some miraculous piece of evidence that comes out at some point that proves them to be a liar, you've got a solid case for them being believed. And I know what it's like to not be believed because I've spent most of my life fighting disbelief. Disbelief from teachers and others that were supposed to be there to keep me safe when I was a kid, when my own parents wouldn't. My birth mother, God bless her, she was an abused spouse. Anytime she tried to speak up for what was going on, she'd get slapped around. And then on throughout the years, as I've tried to tell people up until about 5 years ago, nobody believed what I had to say because nobody wanted to believe it happens to boys and men. And I'm here to tell you it does. Now, having said that, I want to get back to my main point. Believe the accusers until you see solid evidence that they are not telling the truth. And I know there are going to be cases where somebody accusing another person of a sex crime is going to be lying. That's why you believe them and you support them and get them to get the help that they need, including potentially filing criminal charges, and let an investigation happen to bring that person to justice if they are in fact guilty. I know it may sound like a lot of stuff on top of you right now if you're watching this, but the biggest points are sex crimes, no matter what they are genderless, meaning it happens to both men and women. They are ageless, meaning it happens to anybody from 4 years old on up, and sometimes even earlier. Accusers, people coming out and saying they were raped, they were sexually harassed, they were sexually abused, whatever the case may be. Give them the benefit of the doubt because it takes a lot of strength to come forward and talk about these things. And I'm sitting here right now telling you there's a lot of strong people out there, people who are stronger than me that have been speaking a lot longer. If you don't believe me, seek them out, show them this video, and ask them to tell you their opinion. I'll have some more to say in the future, but for now that's it. Love you guys. We'll talk soon.